can you tell us about the Strategic Partnership Council between Azerbaijan and Serbia? Why is this format significant, and what does it signal about the trajectory of bilateral relations?
Thank you very much indeed, Nadia. Indeed, this institution is incredibly important. Decision about the creation of the Council of the Strategic Partnership between these two countries was taken some time ago, but the first meeting took place yesterday. What effectively means that when two countries have strong strategic ties, the leaders need to be able to oversee the process. And this format, and Azerbaijan has developed this similar format with its partners, with which Azerbaijan has strategic and comprehensive partnership, and also with its allies. It allows the presidents, the leaders of the two countries, to oversee the vital projects and also ensure that bureaucratic hurdles are not blocking their implementation. So that's a highest level interaction. And Azerbaijan and Serbia have been strategic partners since 2013, and joint action plan was adopted years afterwards. So it's a very important part of the relationship, because it is vital for these two countries, which are of similar size, and in their respective regions they are tending to play similar roles to increase their respective clouds in their respective regions. Energy is an important part of this relationship, of course, but it's not just about energy. There's different sectors of trade. Defense cooperation is incredibly important. Azerbaijan has consistently supported Serbia in the case of Kosovo. It's very important because even Azerbaijan's treaty ally, Turkey, recognizes Kosovo. So it's a very nuanced matter. Azerbaijan and Turkey are natural allies, but it does not necessarily mean that they agree on everything, and their positions must be deemed as being uniform. Regarding the Israeli aspect, regarding Serbia and its territorial integrity, Azerbaijan and Turkey differ, but differ within the framework of their allied interaction. I suppose another aspect that we need to take into account is that Serbia, of course, is currently in the process of joining the European Union, and there are massive challenges because European policymakers are not very happy with the judicial system there. President Vučić is under massive pressure, both internally and also the pressure coming from Brussels. He has been criticized for his close ties with Russia, which Serbian president does not accept. Serbia is of the view that if you want to survive and thrive in this southeastern Europe, in the Western Balkans, you need to take into account all geopolitical factors. And evidently, the relation with Azerbaijan does give Serbia that extra leverage, allowing this country to be more forceful and resilient whilst dealing with European countries, and also energy-wise to be more self-sufficient and less reliant on Russia. So it looks like this strategic partnership between these two countries is a win-win situation for Belgrade and Baku, and in many ways, I suppose, for the European Union as well, because it does make Serbia more acceptable when you look at this country from the perspective of the Brussels policymakers.
No, that's really, really interesting. And you mentioned quite a few things there. I just want to just pinpoint the part about energy and Azerbaijan and Serbia and the collaboration within that. Just go into that about in what is the most key or consequential aspect of Azerbaijan and Serbia energy cooperation.
Yes, indeed, Nadia. Energy cooperation, I think, is a centerpiece, of course. Defense is important, but energy comes first. Yesterday, as you mentioned earlier in your introduction, 7 bilateral documents were adopted, and one of them was dealing with energy in particular. There are separate levels of this cooperation. One is that Azerbaijan plays an important role in terms of energy security of Western Balkans. It's absolutely clear to everybody, and it's vital for the Western Balkans as a region to diversify away from Russia. Azerbaijan, back in 2024, when Belgrade and President Vučić was under massive pressure from Brussels, agreed with Azerbaijan very important scheme, which effectively entailed the upscaling of Azerbaijani natural gas exports to Serbia to 0.4 BCM annually. This is a very important figure, of course. And now intention is to increase it up to 1 BCM annually. That will be increasingly important moment for Serbia's energy security. But it's not just about supply relationship, supply and demand relationship. Azerbaijan, in addition, supplying Serbia with natural gas, also helping Serbia to increase its electricity generation power, which is far more important than natural gas supplies per se. Natural gas supply means that you'll be always reliant on supplies coming from Azerbaijan, but electricity generation means that you'll be more self-sufficient. Because Azerbaijan itself now is entering this so-called age of electricity. And President Aliyev yesterday talked about Azerbaijan's current electricity capacity is around, I think, 2 gigawatts. And the intention is to increase it to add additional volume of 8 gigawatts by 2032. And the substantial, preponderant part of that extra generated electricity will be transmitted to Europe. And Serbia is going to play a role of both gas and also electricity hub within the Western Balkans.
That's great.
Okay. Very important point, Nadia. Yeah, very important point, Nadia. Decision has been taken to create what is known as 500 megawatt gas-fired plant, which is effectively will allow Serbia to create its own electricity and more self-sufficient. And it's probably going to be built in the area called Niš. There are 3 different areas have been mentioned, and that is something which we need to take into account.
Brilliant.